Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. For quite a while I've been wanting to do more of a business focused sort of Q&A or a chatty video. What I did was I asked you guys if I was to do a chatty video about business and like the fashion business and just things that I've learned, then what would you like to know? So loads of you actually left your questions on my Insta stories. As always, I've tried to choose questions that quite a few of you asked, you know, the same one. Also, Jason and I ran November Night, which was our clothing brand that we started together, and we were doing that for a few years because we were working on it for about a year before it actually launched. So yeah, we were working on that for quite a while. It's not running anymore. We're not sure whether maybe one day it might pick up, maybe not. We both learnt so much from doing it, and it kind of opened a door into the business of fashion for us. You know, like obviously what I do day to day, I like to talk about fashion and clothes and things, but it's very different to like the whole business of fashion. But I have to say right at the beginning, I did not study the business of fashion. When I went to uni, I studied fashion styling, and it also covered hair and makeup. So it taught us a little bit about how to get into being a personal stylist for someone, how to get into the business of that, but nothing really to do with like making clothes, you know, like manufacturing. You know, I bet there are tons of you watching this video who are like studying at uni or working in fashion. I don't have the information from an academic standpoint. I just have what I kind of experienced from starting my own clothing line. And obviously from me going into it, I had the platform of my channel, you know, so it was a bit easier obviously for me to get the clothes out there because I had you guys watching, and that definitely helped the brand. Keep that in mind. Also, we did do a video together where we addressed what kind of happened with the NNK and why it stopped, so because a few people asked that. So if you guys want more info on that, I'll link the video down below that we filmed together so you can just get caught up on that if you missed that video. So I'm going to answer your questions. I think the question I might have got the most was, how do you start your own clothing brand? Have an idea but no idea where to start. So this is something we had to go through as well. You know, we didn't know anyone in the biz. Well, we didn't know anyone to help us like start up or like anything like that. So literally we just did tons of research. Jason did so much research into what the first steps would be, who to set up meetings with, etc, etc. We also funded it ourselves, so we didn't right at the beginning find an investor or anything, which probably would be a really big help if you're looking to launch something, especially if it's like on a bigger scale. First thing I would do is have a really clear idea about what you want your brand to be about, what you want to say, what your standout point is. In this day and age, it's so difficult because there's so much competition out there. Also, you know, the fashion business is very fast-paced. I think it's helpful to decide at the beginning if you want to be more of a trend-focused clothing brand, or if you want to be more like long-lasting pieces that don't follow the trends quite as much. Ideal price points, because that is something that is, once you get into production and how much fabrics cost and things like that, it might change it a little bit. So anyway, have an idea of that at the beginning. I would have lots and lots of design ideas ready to go so that you don't get yourself in the position of like starting it all and then you're being asked for all of your designs. And so, you know, obviously I'm just saying this because in our brand, it was only Jason and I. I didn't have a team of people with me drawing up design ideas. So for me, I feel like it would have been good if I had a lot more designs ready to go. Obviously, it'd be amazing at the beginning as well to see if there's anyone around you who could help you with certain parts of the clothing brand, whether that's more in like the accounts or with the pattern cutting or with the marketing, like once it's got to the later stages. There's so much to think about, honestly. I'm kind of like, I don't know where to start. Figure out who you want to be appealing to, figure out if it's going to be sustainable for you to start and carry on. That in a big way means as well, do you have enough funding? Because creating a clothing brand is so expensive. It's a business that I think it takes a long time for you to see any return from. So just keep that in mind as well. You have to make sure you have enough time and energy to be putting into it. And it's something that seems like, obviously it seems so amazing to do and it's so fun to do, but there's so much behind it. So make sure you've got the motivation and the you need to be very tenacious as well, and like you need to be confident speaking to people, going on meetings to set it up. The good thing though about doing it this day and age is that it's very easy to set up your own website and to sell through there and use Shopify or something. So in that way of getting your clothes out there to be seen, it's a lot easier. So that is a good thing about these days in like fashion, in the fashion business. So the next question is, how did you get started? How do you present? Oh, sorry. Oh, I didn't tell you like what our actual first steps were. So for us, the first steps were doing research into what manufacturers there were in the UK, because we wanted our clothes to be made in the UK. Also, another thing is, you know, figure out if you want to be more of a sustainable business, which you should be these days, or, you know, if you're going to look for maybe your clothes to be made further overseas, even though that's not great for people. Who can help us with pattern cutting? Because I hadn't studied that, I didn't know how to do that, so we found a pattern cutter. And distribution, that's a huge one, and that's something we actually did have a little bit of help with. So how did you get started? How do you present yourself so people take you seriously? We found that people in the fashion industry can be a little bit cagey. People like to work with certain people that they know and they like and they trust, and it can be a little bit harder to kind of get in there. I mean, I can understand that these people have been working in the business for years and years, and they kind of don't want to be letting out their secrets and tips and tricks to anyone who's like, hi, I'm starting something, like give me all your information. So I can totally understand it. So it did take quite a while for us to find the right people that would help us. Or yeah, you just have to talk to them with confidence about your brand. Yeah, I think that's probably with anything in business, you literally just have to talk confidently about it. Yeah, and some people just didn't want to know, and that's fine, that's gonna happen. You know, business isn't always just like straight upwards ladder. What would you say was the most valuable lesson starting your own business? God, I think it's such a great feeling to feel like you can do it and it's doable, because I feel like you can spend so long being like, oh, I really, really want to do that, but I don't know if it's going to work, don't know if people are going to like it, etc, etc. So actually doing it is such a great feeling. Even if you go for it and it fails, you know that you've tried, because it's such a big dream. Like, it's such a big dream to have your own clothing line, or to be a YouTuber, or, you know, whatever it is. So at least if you tried, you know that you've tried. It's also taught me that there are some really, really lovely people in the business, and people that are really happy to help new people out that are coming into it. And some of these people, I didn't even get a lot in return for it, you know, it's just they were willing to help us, and that was so nice, because obviously it is a scary thing to do, and some people are cagey, but there are also really nice people, you know, who, if they believe in your idea for your business or your company, then they will help you. So they might be hard to find sometimes, but there are some people out there like that. It taught me that there is a lot more to starting a business than you realize, and there are so many like small things that you have to think about and factor in, definitely money wise as well, like so many small things that, you know, will add up to the overall cost. You know, for example, things like buttons, zips, labels, customer service. There's a lot. Okay, this question is how to still attract customers in the age of so many fashion brands. So I kind of touched on this before, but it's a good question, and it's something that I don't know the exact answer for. When you're up against the high street brand, you know, chains, I guess it's just, again, like going back to who your ideal customer is, and it might be the person who's willing to spend that little bit more on the quality, or it might be that person who likes quirkier things, or the person who loves colour. Also, it's worth thinking about what is happening in the world today. This was a good question. What are the top 5 things you would tell someone who also wants to go into fashion? So I don't know if you mean like starting a fashion business or just fashion in general. Maybe I'll do it fashion in general. Not that I've worked in like tons of fashion offices, because I haven't, but probably going to be long hours. Gonna have to really work your way higher and higher. It's really competitive, but a lot of things are these days. I want to say don't take no for an answer, or find a way. If you need to do something, just find a way around it so that you can do it. Like there are a lot of things that are going to seem like are stopping you, or that's the end of the road, but there usually is a way around it and a way to do it. You really have to love it. You really have to want it, because it's difficult. But you know, that's not to say don't do it. Why is it so hard to get a job in fashion? I don't work, you know, I haven't worked in like a fashion office, in a fashion house, like in fashion offices or anything, so I can't say on that front. But if I was to guess, I would say, or from what I've seen, a lot of it is nepotism. Like people who already work in these fashionable brands kind of, you know, will like open the door for people that they know, or people that they're used to, like the same sort of person again and again, and that's really frustrating to see. I feel like it's just been a bit of a closed door industry, you know, and they seem to kind of like what they like and that's it. But I think again, you have to keep going, like keep applying, meet people, try and network where you can, and just get your foot in the door. What were your most proud / worst fear moments being in the fashion industry? My most proud moment was probably the NK launch party, because it had taken us so long to work on it, getting the timings right for things to go into production, to be ready to launch and sell. Like, so yeah, so anyway, there were loads of little things. For the launch party itself, there was so much to organise, and then it was just amazing. Like, for so many friends and family were there, and other bloggers, YouTubers came as well and supported us, and it was such, like, I felt so proud and so happy. And oh, also when we had a pop-up at Box Park, and we met so many of you. That was so nice, because literally every day I met so many of you, and to see people come in, look at the clothes, like buy bits, it just really made it feel more real and more like our hard work had paid off. And just the feedback as well from you guys was so nice. So yeah, I guess it's after you've put the hard work in and just to see the feedback. Oh, and my worst moment, I probably have to say when you think something's going to go into production and then like dates mess up or something. That side of it is quite tricky, and you really have to be way ahead time-wise. What's your thoughts on making friends / networking within the fashion industry? I feel like it's really important to meet new people, like, you know, make new connections, do try to network where you can. And also I never like doing it, or I never do it anyway, in like a fake way. I don't like going up to someone to talk if I'm not actually interested in them just because I want something from them. Like, a lot of people probably do that, but I don't. But you know, if it's someone who you know you've got something in common with, and usually you can help each other in some sort of way, and that can work really nicely sometimes. Or if you want to be even more businessy about it, you can obviously target certain people, like ask to go for a coffee or something, and talk business. I'm not a natural at that, but it obviously is really important to do. So for my last one, I had quite a few questions actually asking how I find it being a woman in business. When it came to like meeting new people, like going into meetings, I guess because it was both of us together, it was a man and a woman, you know, so it's not like I was going into meetings just myself as a woman. So to be honest, I can't give you an 100%, you know, well-rounded answer for that. I didn't feel any like discrimination or anything. Everyone was pretty friendly, pretty open to talking to me about everything, and really respectful. I hope you guys liked this video. This was really nice to do because it's a bit of a different topic. If you have any other questions, leave them down below. I'll try and get back to you down below and answer them. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you very much for your questions as well. And don't forget to give the video a like if you liked it, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.